Alright, hello and welcome race fans here with ETV Live and the OCRL. Sorry, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty. We are live now and ready to get underway with qualifying here at Texas Motor Speedway. 183 laps tonight. And I know Sean Petchen's going to be in the booth with Wesley Outland. I believe we're going to have Joshua Harbison on pit road tonight, but I'm up here for qualifying. Sean.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks for having me yet again for another NASCAR race here in the OCRL. I'm really excited. Texas Motor Speedway. I think I was here for the Atlanta race as well, so this is quite similar, I think, to that track. So I'm really excited to see you guys get out there and get after it.
Oh, for sure. It's going to be fun tonight as well because I'm going to be on and off the track. We'll be in here for qualifying. I'm actually going to go out and run a lap, I believe, here in a little bit. But I'm actually going to be racing tonight, so that'll be kind of awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's going to be good to get your perspective as you qualify and as we kind of watch things unfold and talk to you. And then we're going to be able to see you out on track and performing in pack. So you've done well in this championship. I've been following the points, and so I'm really excited to see how you will do tonight, as well as all these great drivers in this championship, obviously.
Alright, speaking of this championship, let's go through last week's results really fast. I'm going to run through the top 10. Eric Mickey is going to finish first place last week. He is a JRM guy, so Junior Motorsports, with his teammate Jeff Backey Jr. right behind him in the 8 car. Mike Kirby finished 3rd. Alex Buffoli 4th. I myself finished 5th. Dakota Erm. 6th was Thomas Morris, and 7th Shannon Sagler. And I believe Shannon is part of Ripjaw Motorsports, or he was Straight Twisted Motorsports with Ryan Rudy's team. Ryan Rudy runs over here, so that's kind of cool. Jake Finch, who is Junior Motorsports. John Dragonetti, who I believe is Bombshell E3 Motorsports. And Wendell James, who is, I believe, O'Toole Motorsports. And looking at the championship, the way it's shaken up is the leader is pretty much locked in. I don't think he can be beaten anyway. It is Jeff Beckey Jr. of Junior Motorsports. He has a 199-point lead over Patrick O'Toole. But the real battle is for second place, as Alex Buffoli is only he's 201 points out of leader, but he is only 2 points out from Patrick O'Toole's second place spot, so all he has to do is beat him by at least 3 spots tonight, or maybe get some bonus points. Chris Thomas Dukes, going back a spot last week, is now 210 behind the leader, and I believe 9 points away from Buffoli right now. Jake Finch, who is Junior Motorsports, is in 5th position. Shannon Sagler in 6th. Todd Smith going up a position from last week in 7th. Julian Medor going down a spot in 8th. And David Danboyce, who you heard in the booth last time, is sitting in the 9th position. Cody McCorkle in 10th.
Yeah, it seems to really be a runaway there at the top there. How interesting is it that the guy who's also the kind of lead of this championship just so happens to be winning, so by a comfortable margin?
Yeah, I'm just going to turn attention away to on-tracks. We've already had, I believe, 4 or 5 cars go out here. 4 is Alex Buffoli is top of the board with 29.672. Chris Thomas Dukes in 2nd. Timothy Selman in 3rd. Patrick O'Toole in 4th. And Perry Hicks in 5th, as we were running through all that, with Cody McCorkle currently on the track in that number 86 machine. Looking to make his lap. He was a little loose reinforced, a little bobble there, but coming across the line now. We'll see where this is going to put him.
Yeah, it looks like he's put him down at a 30.132. It appears as though about a 29 practice times are right around 29 flat.
Yeah, and here comes Gene Mercer's car. There's a lot of this tonight. Well, you can only have 4 cars per team on the track, but I know there's a lot of guys working with us this week. It's kind of cool. Jason Gaines on the Spy Optics car hitting the track. We'll see what he's got. He was about 17th in practice. And the way we do this qualifying is we go opposite of practice speed. So it's like NASCAR. We go slowest to fastest in qualifying. So Michael Anos would have went out first, which I believe he passed because he did not complete a lap. And you do have the option of not going and starting in the rear.
Yeah, we've seen that the last time I was at this championship when we had our own Mike Heaton actually start in the back of the pack. And actually he took a lap, but he may as well have just let it go.
Speaking of Mike Keaton, he finished, I believe, 23rd out of 24 or 24 out of 25. Last week he was in the rear of the field after getting caught up in an incident of mine. But here's the funny part. I got turned by his teammate. In my eyes, I believe I was turned. And I came back and finished 5th. He didn't even finish the race. It was Jason Gaines laying down his qualifying lap. It was a 30.00 or 088, so that'll put him 6th on the board. Not a very good lap for Jason. He's going to have to work through traffic tonight.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see the cars work around traffic here at Texas, as it shares a lot of the same qualities as Atlanta. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys come off of turn 2 and onto that back straightaway, and see how loose some of these guys get.
And Shannon Sagler opting to pass here in the 67, so it's going to be John R. Dragonetti in the number 80, and Peter Engelmanis behind him in the 14 car. But I want to talk about the track real fast. You said a little loose in the backstretch, I do believe, and this track is so tricky. We were actually prepared yesterday for this track, and we thought we had something good. We came to the track, we're like 2/10 off the pace, and scrambling. So this track is unique to set up for, especially off of turn number 2 and 4. You're sliding off of both. You want the car to stick towards the bottom, but you don't want to give it too much speed. And I'm hearing guys say they're going wide open for like the first 4 laps, and they can do that. And that's something I can't do. That's for sure.
Yeah, every time I compete here at Texas in this nationwide car, it's always tough for me coming off of 2 and 4, like you said, and making sure it sticks. Especially 4, seems like you really get a lot more loose there than you would off of 2, and it's really tough to collect it. And I mean, if it's just one little mistake and you're going up into the wall, so, or another car for that matter.
Yeah, that's the dangerous part here. Now, Sean, I thought you was going to be a drunken open wheeler tonight, calling the race.
Yeah, that was the original plan. I was going to come out here, get trashed, and talk mad garbage about you. And unfortunately, tomorrow I have some assault rifle training that I have to do, and they frown on you showing up hungover or drinking with any time frame before you start shooting. So I kindly have to pass this time, much to my dismay.
Much to your dismay. Well, at least we got you in the booth tonight, and we're just keeping you occupied, so you don't have to even think about it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I've had a lot of stuff going on here lately, so just to get in the booth and call some racing action, especially with the actual IndyCar Championship over and everything, we don't really have a whole lot going on, so it's good to be in the booth, call some nice 10 top action. So I'm beginning to like the 10 tops a little bit more here lately. Used to be staunchly against them, but I think they're making some moves in the right direction, and it's caught my attention.
That's in 4. And just to give you an update on John R. Dragonetti going out last time in the 80 car, he topped the board with a 29.572 as Peter Engelman is getting the wall off of 4. And he's going to go down pit road. That will end his lap. I do not think he's going to go back out. And ironic radio communications there is Eric Mickey in the number 4 is now rolling out to complete his lap, and that is teammate to Jason Gaines, who did qualify 6th or 7th. Now he's been knocked down, so I gotta wonder, are they going to run into trouble as well?
Yeah, it looks. See, I don't know if it was a mistake from Jason, but we'll have to see where this will stack up for Eric. So I think, if they work together, hopefully it was just a mistake for Jason and there's a little more speed in the car. But, if it was actually setup related, I guess we can see them start more towards the back. I don't know if that's part of their strategy or what.
Okay, I think I need to correct myself. Eric is not running for JRM tonight because we had all 4 cars fielded. He is working, I believe he's working with us at TeamSpeak, but he is not driving for us. He is, I believe, Bombshell E3 Motorsports, if I am correct there. But he is in the 4 in a JRM built car. I believe it came from the JRM shop. So as he comes off a turn, we'll see what kind of time he can lay here. Down the front stretch into the trail there, he's going to hit the line, and we're going to see, as he was actually 13th in practice, he tops the board with a 29.210, and that's not a very bad lap at all.
No, actually, given what we've seen, that's pretty respectable. He's over 3/10 clear of second place, John Dragonetti. So yeah, I guess clearly some difference there.
That would have knocked him well into the top 4, and practice would have, with that 210, would actually put him 200s over Matt Kingston, and would have put him in contention with those other guys. The scary part is, we believe they were running those times in race trim.
Yeah, that's if that is the case, he will definitely be a factor with some good race pace out there. So I've always found that with these 10 top cars, it's all about how you how you race, not necessarily how you qualify all the time.
I'll tell you what, Jake Finch, teammate to, or not really teammate, somewhat teammate to Eric Mickey this week, and he is a Junior Motorsports car. He is actually teammate with teammates with Jason Gaines, who again is at the rear of the field, and that puts. I don't even know what to expect here, because Eric went to the front, Jason went to the back, and Jake, looking like he wiggled just a little bit to 3 and 4, slides off of 4, He looks really, really loose there as he's going to take his time at a, waiting on it, a 29.828. That's going to put him 5th on the board.
Yeah, that car was all kinds of out of control going through those corners. I mean, he was bobbling through 1 and 2, really had a big moment coming off of turn 4 and nearly put it in the wall. Good on him to save that car.
As Mike Husby heads out, he's NSC Racing, or what was Northern Racing, Northern Motorsports, ran by, I believe, trying to think of the name, Robert Hill. And these guys, Mike Husby has been really showing the last few weeks. I mean, he's a driver. If he don't have a setup, he will drive that thing, and I think we're going to see what he's capable of now. And I also want to take the time out to throw a shout out to our boss man, JD. I know he's going to be out for a little while, but we wish him a speedy recovery here from everybody at ETV Live.
Yeah, JD, get feeling well soon, man. We'll see you on the other side. A much-needed break. I know that John's probably not happy about it, but he does need a break.
Well, you know, now John has put up with me, so it's that could be good or bad. It's just really depending. But there's Mike Husby coming across the line. We're going to see what kind of a time he runs here. As I'm actually just about to go make my qualifying lap. Maybe I can call it from the car. Who knows?
No, we'll definitely be watching you there.
29.530 for Mike Husby. It's going to put him 2nd on the board. As I'm actually rolling off of pit road right now.
No, here he comes, the big bad Dakota Airman. Let's see what kind of time he can put up in his number 7.
See if I can't take you a little bit around the track a little bit here. Talk about it as I go around it. Now, personally, I'm a little loose. I just made a few changes to this thing before practice ended, and so I felt like I was sliding all the way around. But coming off of pit road, when you get on the backstretch, you're full throttle. Don't have to really lift a little bit unless you're a little loose there in 3 and 4. Stick to the top. Try to gain as much time as you can. And then coming across the line here, we're going to see about 185, 183 coming across the line. I'm not actually getting completely off the throttle there. I was just for a split second. And I'm easing back onto it and trying to get back down to the bottom, let the thing slide up, carry as much speed as I can. So I've got as much speed as I can going down the backstretch. Not quite going to get out of the throttle completely here, but I had to back it up a little bit just so that I don't push, and then try ease on the throttle here. And here's where I'm losing time because I am slipping and sliding.
Yeah, definitely could see the car getting a little out of control there, kind of working its way up towards the racetrack and getting close to that wall. P2 though.
That's a 528. That's not going to be a maybe top 10, I think.
Yeah, a little rough there. You might have had a provisional pull time there had it not been for that turn 4 incident. Your car was way sliding up into the wall, or towards the wall rather.
Ironic part was I ran in the race room.
Oh, nice. Okay. So there you have it.
Todd Smith in the 16 car is out on track. As I'm going to try to pull him up here. We'll see what kind of time he can run here. And I'm seeing him kind of sticking in the middle lane. He didn't quite get to the bottom there, 1 and 2. This is going to hurt him. And as he's trying to fight the wheel, he snaps it just a little bit. The rear end kind of pushing out, and he's trying to turn the front end really hard. And that's just not in combination. It's somewhat of a sign of an unbalanced race car, or maybe just a little tight in the center, which is what a lot of guys are fighting right now. As Todd Smith working his way through turn 3 and 4, not able to get to the bottom again. And I know it's dangerous to get down to the bottom because it's really easy to clip that apron and get really loose. But Todd Smith coming across the line, so what kind of time he can run. He's going to place in 12th to 30.127. Not the best lap. I don't know if he's going to be able to go for another one, as he is shutting her down. Now we have Matt Lacrosse and a number 26 coming out onto the track.
Yeah, some interesting news actually from the real motorsports world. We just found out before we came onto the show there, Dakota, that it looks as though it is going to be official. I don't know how many of the NASCAR fans out there follow the Formula One, but it looks like Lewis Hamilton is going to be leaving McLaren to head to Mercedes Formula One team. So interesting times in the real world of motorsport on this Thursday night.
Well, for sure, and I'm not going to bet you there's going to be a huge story on that on openpaddock.net. You want to plug us in a little bit about that?
Yeah, come over ETV Live Tuesday nights. You can, as we get a car bouncing off the wall there, come over Tuesday night for Open Paddock Live radio, powered by UTV Live over on the main page. So we'll give you your full rundown with Motorsports in Brief, talking Formula One. We're having a lot of Formula One, a lot of World Rally Championship stuff this week. And then we'll get you caught up with all the off-season news for the IZOD IndyCar Series, as well as the Mazda Road to Indy with the Firestone Indy Lights, Star Mazda, and USF 2000. So come on by if you're a fan of all things open wheel or rally, and get your fills. So
I'll tell you what, Adam's making a pretty good call there. Matt Lacrosse hitting the wall in the backstretch, like he said. His lap was disallowed because he hit the wall, but the admins allowing him to go for a second lap, because everybody's pretty much been going for one lap tonight. So he hits his second lap, and he runs an 8.45, and that's going to put him 8th on the board.
Yeah, just as I was making the plug there, he started to slide up coming off of 2 and just kind of smacked the wall a little bit. So definitely scrubbed some of that speed and hurt the lap immensely. But the car looked like it was in pretty good shape, so no serious damage.
And now on the track, the owner of Junior Motorsports, the guy who's sitting on the pole right now, well, the guy sitting in second right now, myself, my car is sitting by this guy, so this guy usually fast. He was way up there in practice. I believe he's sitting in 5th position in practice. Almost at top 4, top 3. Let's see what he's got. As you watch, he had pretty good speed coming across the tri-oval there. We're just going to see what he does in turn 1 and 2. Ooh, he wiggles just a little bit. I don't think he's got a handle on that thing. Coming through the bumps, looks like it wiggled a little bit more. Pushed a little bit maybe off the corner because he kind of turned it just a little bit too much, like he was still turning the car, and that's something you don't want to do. But watching him, he gets down towards the bottom of 3 and 4, wiggles some more. I don't think he's having a whole lot of help with the grip, I'm guessing, because here he comes across the tri-oval, and I'm looking for maybe a 3 or a 4. Oh, nope, that's a 5.53. That's going to put him 4th on the board. And here comes Matt Kingston in the 31. And you know what? To my surprise, I'm still second. I'm very surprised at that, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, I would have thought surely with some of the practice times that we've seen that we would have seen somebody, some cars start to really move up in the timesheets. Now, granted, we are working towards the faster cars, so there's still some speed out there. But yeah, you're hanging right in there with that 5.28, and Eric Mick there 29.210, well ahead of all of you. But to your credit, you did say that you were in race pace, so. Or race trim, rather.
I'm sure a lot of guys are in race trim. It's hard to get the Q trim. I know Eric might have been in Q trim, though, most likely. But mine, I can't quite remember what I was going to say, but I know I wasn't very happy with mine. And, oh yeah, this is what it was. I'm happy with that for only getting like 20 minutes of practice today, so. Matt Kingston coming across the line. He is Pinnacle Racing, and he is the start of the Fast 5. He's going to knock me off a skin. He's going to take the second position with a 29.437. I believe that's about 2/10 slower than what he was earlier.
Yeah,
now
that's
coming on.
Oh, go ahead.
I was about to say, now is C. Thomas Morris Jr., we call him Thomas Morris, in the 99, and this is another Pinnacle Racing car. The Fast 5, I'm telling you, these guys are fast. Week in and week out, every series we go, there's always someone to contend with. As he's coming out to make his lap, he's going to use, I believe, the bottom here, going to 3 and 4, which is not the preferred line to make up a whole lot of speed. I cannot believe how fast qualifying is going. We are, this is our, I believe we have 2 more cars after this guy, so going through this pretty quickly. Thomas Morris though looking pretty good through 1 and 2. I'm wondering if this might knock Eric off the pole here, unless he has a little trouble in 3 and 4, which I've not known these guys to have too much trouble, especially in qualifying. They're usually really good. But here he comes across the line. We'll see what kind of lap time he is going to get here, and it is second place, 2.12. That is 0.02 of a second off of Eric Mickey. Going to place him in second. I'm back to 4th.
And Dakota starts to slide down the totem pole here.
At least I'll start higher than I did in practice so far.
Truth.
This is Chris Munger, who ran second in practice, and he's got Kellogg's on the car this week. I do believe that's his usual paint scheme. Him and Patrick O'Toole usually running Kellogg's, and they are a rival team, so you know that's probably fight for sponsorship there as he takes the green flag with decent speed coming across the line. Watching him, 187.8 going into turn number 1. He's not quite able to get to the bottom though. Looks a little snug. Not sure if he's going to be able to pull this off though. Might still be a good lap time. Maybe a little bit tight off is what's looking like. Then again, you can't get very to the bottom sometimes. You get that apron, like I said, and you're going to just turn the car around and lose a lot of time. Or slide it at least. But that car looked really sharp going 2, 3, and 4. That was a really good line. He got to the bottom next to the apron. Watch him for a pole maybe here as we're waiting. And he was the pole by 9,000 of a second, only a 2:01.
Yeah, these qualifying times are certainly a lot different than what we were seeing in practice. I mean, like I said, the faster guys in practice, the fastest guy was a 29.014, and then the 29.119. So a little bit off, just a little bit, and we still got, like we said before, the fastest practice cars have yet to come out in their qualifying trim.
I'm kind of wondering if those guys weren't in qualifying trim when they made theirs. That would really help me out, for sure. But Mike Kirby, the fastest guy in practice by over 1/10 of a second. That's a lot. But he ran a 0 in practice, and everybody else has ran 2. So they've been 1/10 slower, so I wonder if he can hit a 1 here. And then that really won't help me. That won't help anybody else. But this guy's usually really, really quick in qualifying as he gets the wall. I believe he did this last week too. He got the wall and really hurt it. He's going to have to go for a second lap here because it will disallow his lap. But his tires are going to be really worn out here. I mean, these tires really don't last more than a lap for a fast lap, so I'm thinking maybe a 3 or a 4 for that car, unless it's just so bad that it won't be able to make the second lap quickly, the way the tires may be set up. But watching him, see if he gets the wall again. Nope, he is good through 2. And do the backstretch, no wall anywhere, as I've actually found out there's a wall at the backstretch. You can hit it and it hurts. But he pushed a little ways up in 3 and 4, not using that bottom like Chris Munger opted to. This lap not looking like it will be as fast. And it's going to be a 450, going to knock me down. He is in 5th position.
Yeah, coming out of 3 and 4 there on the second lap, he was really chasing the car as the back end was starting to move around there. Could kind of see the wiggle before the camera had adjusted there, so that definitely probably hurt the lap a little bit more as well. So tough break for Mike, but it looks like everybody's been running pretty much in their race trim.
I'm not sure. Those guys could have been in queue and just been scaring us, but I know Mike Kirby was in queue. I'm pretty sure on that one. But gonna run through the qualifying order before we send us away for a commercial break, and we'll be back for I believe a little bit of pre-race or maybe the race. Chris Munger is going to be on the pole in that 55 machine with a 29.201. Eric Mickey sitting second, the number 4. He is Bombshell E3 Motorsports at a 210, a 29.210. And C. Thomas Morris Jr., which is Thomas Morris, in the 99, sitting third with a 29.212. That's 0.02 of a second off of Eric Mickey, and that's about 100th off of Christopher Munger. Matt Kingston sitting fourth with a 29.437. That's about 0.2 off of what he ran in practice. Mike Kirby sitting fifth with a 29.450, and then rounding out your, I'm just going to run through the rest of the guys. Myself in the number 7, Dakota Ehrman sitting 6th. In 7th, Mike Husby. In 8th, Jeff Becky Jr. In 9th, John R. Dragonetti. In 10th, the 08 of Alex Buffoli. And in 11th, Chris A. Thomas Dukes, which is a mouthful, I'm sure. Just calling Chris Thomas, or Thomas Dukes. Jake Finch is 12th in the 88. Matt LaCrosse is 13th in the 26. Timothy Stillman is 14th in the 38. Patrick O'Toole is 15th in the 44. In 16th, we have the 28 of Perry Hicks, and in 17th, the guy that I really expected not to lay that kind of a lap time down. That was probably a heartbreak. Jason Gaines in the 5. He is he is pretty much teammates with the guys running 6th, 8th, and 12th. So probably not good for him. Todd Smith sitting 18th in the 16 and in 19th position, rounding out your field. The 86 of Cody McCorkle. And we will have a few guys that did not opt take laps, and we'll start in the rear. And we will not know who those guys are officially until the start of the race.
Indeed, good qualifying run. A little bit of surprise at the top. Thought we would have had somebody a little bit quicker, but yeah, should be interesting. And can't wait for the race to see how you do. You've got a pretty good starting spot there in 6th. I'm going to go ahead and pick you to win.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, I'm going to pick it.
Seems like every time I start up front, or even towards the front, top 10, I get wrecked out, so I probably shouldn't have qualified there, but oh well, it was worth it.
Well, you know, I'm actually just picking you to win the race. That way ill fortune does go down upon you because I don't, you know, I don't want to see you win because then I got to hear about it all the time.
Yeah, that ETV live curse. Thank you very much, John.
You're welcome, man. That's what you get for coming into my Indianapolis 500 and ruining my life.
that's how it goes, man. That's just, it had to happen, you know. I heard you was gonna dominate, and so coming in here, he's late. Where's Sean at? Oh, he's in 12th.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's alright. You get him here soon, I hope.
Yeah, I only got a few more races before it's time to go away for a while, so hopefully, hopefully we get in there and get a win. Iowa's our season finale is next week in Iowa, so we'll see how that goes. But I look forward to seeing you out on track and wish you the best of luck tonight. Nudge, nudge, wink.
Of course. Alright, well, we're going to step away to take a quick commercial break, and we will be back momentarily with the race.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And we're back live here at the OCRL at Texas Motor Speedway. I guess I'm going to stick around for just a little bit longer from inside the car. I think we had Dwayne Hall do this. The last time was R-Factor, the R-Factor mod. But I believe it was a Halls on Post ETV Live dedicated in-race reporter is what we called him. And now I'm going to be in the car talking to a radio up there to the guys in the booth. And Sean's going to be taking over. I believe we're going to have our pit road reporter up in the booth for a little while until Wesley Outland is able to make it. He should be here momentarily. Tell you what though, I think Sean just went on vacation momentarily.
I did not. I was pushing the wrong button. So my wrong push to talk button. Should we do the thing that they do in the real NASCAR races? Dakota, do you have a copy in Race Reporter?
Wait, I gotcha.
Who knew?
I didn't.
So yeah, as the cars now take the grid here at Texas Motor Speedway for the start of the OCRL Championship round here. So Dakota, thanks for sticking around. We also have our pit road reporter with us. So we got Josh. Hello, Josh. Josh,
hey, how you doing?
We're doing very good, very good. Thanks for joining us tonight. So it should promise to be a fantastic race here at Texas Motor Speedway. Did you like the kiss of death that we gave Dakota, our young man in the car?
Oh, the ETV curse. It'll be interesting to watch and see what happens now.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he performs, but if he gets quiet, I guess I'll just go ahead and scroll back to his car and see what kind of accident he's got himself into, or I guess I should say the accident that he gets into that will inevitably be somebody else's fault.
Oh, that's how...
You know my luck is already bad enough here.
What happens.
With you guys running the ETV Jinx at me, my luck's already bad enough here. You guys are going to ruin me.
So here we go as the pace car takes off. The field now making its way around this nice racing facility. I remember calling actually a Le Mans race here. They had a Le Mans race for the race department here earlier this summer, and we got to watch them drive this track around the road course. But we're going to be keeping it on left turns only tonight for the NASCAR Impala B, better known as the Nationwide car. Just a quick, if you're just now joining us, quick rundown on qualifying the top 5. Christopher Munger will start on pole with a 29.2. Eric Mickey will start 2nd. Thomas Morris Jr. will start 3rd. Matt Kingston 4th. Mike Kirby 5th. Our very own Dakota Ehrman 6th. Mike Husby 7th, Jeff Backey Jr., the points leader, will start 8th, and John Dragonetti 9th, with Alex Buffoli starting 10th.
I'll tell you what, because we're just talking about anybody just joining us, this track is slick for some people and it's tight for some others. I'm telling you what, right now from inside the car, and I'll be calling the race for a little bit, and you know, I'm sliding already as it is, so this is going to be an interesting race to stick around for.
Yeah, definitely look forward to it. So you guys doing one pace lap then?
Yes, sir. We're getting ready to take the green as the pace car just about to dive off here.
Yeah, so the pace car comes down pit road as the field bunches up, and here we go. Green flag is out, and a good jump here for Christopher Munger right off the start. So Munger's going to take the lead and open it up about a car length and a half. Thomas Morris 2nd, Mickey 3rd, Kingston 4th, and Mike Kirby now 5th.
Tell you what, second gear is not the way to go here on the restart. I think these guys are in first gear, which is really difficult because you can spin the tires really easy. That's one of the things you don't want to do, but I'm telling you what, second gear was not good for me because now I'm way back here, seeming like I'm already out of it.
Yeah, we're going 133 laps here at Texas Motor Speedway as cars now, we've got a lot of passing going on as cars kind of settle into the rhythm, but one thing that is constant, Christopher Munger still leads now over Eric Mickey, 3rd is Mike Kirby, and Thomas Morris Jr. 4th with Kingston 5th.
I remember Mike Kirby actually hitting the wall on his first qualifying lap, so we know he had something fast. because I believe he's still qualified, what, 4th or 5th on the second lap.
Yeah, a good run, a good qualifying run even after the trouble that he had, as you mentioned there. And it seems as though now the cars are starting to spread out a little bit here towards the front as we now begin to work our way back through the field. Cars settling in, just trying to establish that early race. It, like I said, 133 laps, so there's no real need to do anything drastic right out of the gate. So the cars now getting those tires up to temperature, working on getting grip into the tires and feeling out their setups, as some of these guys are getting a little bit racy here back towards around Cody McCorkle here. We got a couple cars running too wide.
Hey, what, I'm trying to make that high side work, because what I'm noticing here is the outside can work if you hit it right, which is what I just didn't do, but you can get a really good run down the straightaways. I just let the 8 car by Jeff Becky Jr., and I was sitting right behind the 99. The 99's a little bit off the pace.
Yeah, some of these cars, again, we didn't know if they were running qualifying trim or if they were running race trim in qualifying, as Dakota was doing, but it seems some of these guys are starting to slide back through the field. Maybe the race setup not as good as what the qualifying setup was, and perhaps maybe their car just takes a little bit longer to come into its own. So we have seen on a number of occasions where cars will start to kind of slide back through the field, but as the run goes on and those tires warm up, we get a good run. We got a car spinning now on the back straightaway, and Dakota is one of them.
That was kind of scary. Jeff got loose in front of me in the corner, and then I moved out to the outside, and then I spun it pretty much halfway, spun it off the corner, and tagged him just barely, and we both went around.
Yeah, so there we go. We got incidents between teammates, and our in-race reporter was one of them, so that's always interesting.
Dangerous, that's for sure.
Yeah, coming out of corner number 2 onto the back straightaway, Dakota getting loose and taking the number 8 car of Jeff Backey Jr. around with him as they both spin. Contact on both of those. More cars coming together as they try to avoid the 7 and 8 car going around on the back straightaway. So there's a 4 or 5 points there, and now people automatically, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of damage is actually sustained on these cars during the caution period.
Tell you what, that was interesting. The car really stepped out there, and that's something you've got to be careful of, especially here, as we've been all fighting a loose condition off, especially the fast guys up front. And that's something we were doing with the truck series. The truck series really a close battle. The points lead, I believe, was separated by 2 points going in the truck series. And the cup series is about 9 points, so we're having really good battles there. And we were here last week with the truck series, and a lot of guys were fighting loose off. We managed to fix that, and we were like top 5 cars. But this nationwide car seems to be really hard to fix that problem.
Alright, well, all of our lead cars now coming down, taking advantage of the caution, getting probably tires, maybe a splash of fuel. The only car that appears to have stayed out was that of John Dragonetti, so John's going to stay out and take that track position and hope for maybe another caution before he has to stop for service. A lot of these cars we're going to see maybe in the pit stall a little bit longer than just tires and fuel, as Dakota Ehrman and Jeff Backey are going to be working on fixing whatever damage it was that they had sustained. I know Jeff kind of backed into the wall a little bit there, so no real rush here around Texas Motor Speedway, so there should be time to fix this car for both of these guys. And unlike the open wheel cars that I'm used to, you guys also have the wave around as well. So it looks like we have Jeff Backey Jr. still in the pits. We also have Alex Buffoli still in the pits, Jake Finch also, and Peter Engelmanis also still there. So as the pace car now comes around turn 4, looks like it's going to be John Dragonetti in the lead, and Eric Mickey will be second with and then Christopher Munger's third, Mike Kirby is fourth, and Matt Kingston fifth. So it looks like Eric Mickey was able to get around Christopher Munger there in the pit stops.
Yeah, Eric Mickey, he only took 2 tires. He took right sides only. He got out a little quicker than Munger did. And if you notice, the 08 and the 88 also got collected in that wreck a little while ago, trying to avoid it.
Yes, they did. Trying to avoid it, both those cars coming together as well. Good point that you mentioned there, Josh, though, about the two tires. I mean, it is still early in the race. Obviously, the right side tires are going to take the most beating and abuse, so perhaps a nice move by Eric Mickey to just take those two tires and make up that one position on Christopher Munger in the pits. So it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds as the night continues.
Yeah, there's not very many tires, or excuse me, there's not very many laps on the tires, so Dragonetti might have made a very good call too. They might just be able to stay out in front of Munger as he tries to push.
Indeed, it will be interesting to see how Dragonetti fares once we go back racing on those tires. Again, we hadn't completed many laps there, so we're currently working, it appears, lap 8, so coming around to start lap 9, so it will be interesting to see. Should be able to run at the front of the field for a little bit anyways before starting to slide back. But those tires are going to be real grippy on Christopher Munger's car, so it'll be interesting at the front to see who makes those moves. Hopefully there's no further incidents.
Yeah, but they say caution breed cautions, so we'll see what happens on this restart when the pace car pulls in.
That is 100% a fact indeed.
I'll tell you what, guys, that was totally my fault. The thing just stepped out off the corner, so I'm going to start shutting up during the race, and I'm going to let you guys, I'll try talking with you guys under caution, as I'm sure my team owner is not very happy with me right now.
Yeah, so we're going to let Dakota get back in the car and talk with his boss, as his boss surely will be upset. Again, not a super big deal, as he's got a near 200-point cushion in the race, but as we get ready to go back green flag racing here, Josh, all eyes will be on how long Dragonetti can stay ahead, and also how quickly, you know, if 2 or 4 tires was the best choice. I mean, again, too early to really tell. This isn't, I don't think, going to make or break the race, but it should be interesting to see how they all pile out after the restart, especially given the loose conditions.
Yeah, right side only, you know, it might make him a little bit looser, but I don't think this would be a good time to try different things like that. It's early in the race, you got plenty of time to recover if you do mess up.
Indeed, we saw weeks ago where Dakota was able to make up nearly 4 laps, and here we go, green flag, and John Dragonetti gets out to a fantastic start there, really making use of that restart and putting about 3 car lengths between him and second place as they all funnel down into turns 1 and 2. So cars kind of getting single file here.
Yeah, Munger just slid right past Mickey, so he's now in second place.
Yeah, Munger definitely now coming charging on the inside here of Dragonetti, and now he's kind of bottlenecked up as Mickey now makes it too wide, as they look like they all are faster than Dragonetti. Dragonetti holding up the train, and it looks like Munger is going to take him going into turn 1. He's going to make it stick as Dragonetti slides way up the racetrack into the very top part of the groove, and he's going to lose all kinds of positions as the 66 of Kirby, the 4 of Mickey, and the 99 of Thomas Morris Jr. go around Dragonetti. So yeah, maybe staying out on those tires was definitely not the right call, as he's about to lose more positions.
Yeah, he's losing it to the 12 of Chris Thomas Dukes, as he's trying to complete the pass underneath, and behind him is the Matt Kingston, and yeah, he's just falling back.
Yeah, disastrous result there for Dragonetti. Definitely not what he was hoping to have happen. Munger now leading the race with Mike Kirby all over the back end of that number 55 machine. So good race there, as they've now separated themselves by about 10 car lengths now over the 3rd place car of Thomas Morris Jr. And we now have a caution. Looks like it... Who was it? No, okay, so it looks like we've had some kind of an accident on the back straightaways. We now will look to see if we can find out exactly what happened there. So this will be the 2nd caution, and I bet you Dragonetti changes his mind and goes in for tires this time. Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he will. That was a disastrous move right there. But luckily, like I said, it's early in the race, he can recover. Yeah,
having a hard time seeing exactly what happened there in the wreck, so apologies there. It may have been a car up in the wall or a car spinning across the back straightaway. Not 100% sure, but nevertheless, second caution flag is out for this event.
Anyway, guys, they don't throw a caution flag. That was manually thrown by the admins, and they don't throw it unless there's multiple cars involved. So, multiple cars involved on the backstretch is what I was informed. Not sure who it was. I'll see if I can get an update from my various channels that I have in the car.
All right, so Dakota's going to find out precisely what happened there, as we kind of missed it with, I guess, multiple cars crashing. It was a thrown yellow flag there, so Munger's still going to lead this one. Kirby sitting in second place as we work lap 14, so 14 laps and we already got 2 cautions, so a lot to what Dakota was talking about during qualifying and a little bit in the pre-race. This track very slippery and drivers having a real hard time keeping the car in one piece coming off of turn 2 and off 4, but it seems as though turn 2 is the one that is the one, and I'm getting word that it was perhaps Patrick O'Toole, or as Dakota called him, just simply the Tool, caused this caution flag. So we'll go back and see the number 44 machine in the pits for an extended service here.
It's front row tool, man.
Front row Tool. I'm sorry. I was you know, I was just trying to put you in hot water with your friends.
I'm already there after, you know, spending my team owner. But
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the silly season brings, because I really don't think we're going to have Dakota racing for that team much longer, considering he has the punt syndrome.
yeah, really sorry about that. That was really my bad. I felt really bad about that. But I'm trying to make the car get back up to the front, see if I can't do anything with these guys. And we had a few guys going down pit road there, which was kind of shocking, and half of us staying out. So a few guys in the back see me on fresher tires to be a little bit quicker maybe, and then there's these guys that stayed out, like I believe the leaders that stayed out. I know Husby's still up there, looking up there. Chris Munger stayed out. Mike Kirby and those two are already racing for the lead, I do believe. So I know Munger was saying he was loose on one of the channels, and Kirby would have had him coming off the corner. So those two guys are slipping and sliding with each other. And last time they were at Texas racing each other this hard, and they were 1-2, they ended up wrecking each other. So watch out for that.
Yes, we got some potential drama building there between those two, if they have a history before. But yeah, Kirby really had a good run, as Josh and I were talking. I mean, Kirby really had a rocket ship coming up on Munger, and just lost a little bit. Munger was able to hold on, but a little loose condition there in Kirby's car. So yeah, that information is 100% correct.
How about that from in the car?
Looks like we thought we were going to have a taker on pit road, but guys just trying to pass the time during this second caution period here. So just to go through the field, through the top 10 anyways, we got Christopher Munger on point, Mike Kirby running second, Thomas Morris Jr. is P3, 4th Matt Kingston, 5th Mike Husby, 6th John Dragonetti, 7th is Perry Hicks, 8th is Dakota Ehrman, or Punter, as he shall now be known, and 9th will be Timothy Silliman, and 10th is Shannon Sigler. So that is your top 10 so far from here at Texas Motor Speedway as we get ready to go green flag racing again. And Josh, should we see more cautions, breeding cautions this time?
I hope not. I'd like to see him race for a while, but we'll just have to find out.
Hey, you're telling me.
Yeah,
I don't know what I've got yet.
We've just won a few laps actually since the last time we had a caution. Again, we would have only had one caution this race if it wasn't for Dakota wrecking his team boss, but you know, be that what it is, you know, I mean, I guess that's just how the team operates, because I don't see his team boss anywhere on track, but I see Dakota sitting in comfortably in the top 10, so
Yeah, there's plenty of race left, and hopefully Dakota and that ETV live car can bring it up front, but we'll see. And
yeah.
the pit car dives down on pit road, and once again Munger gets a good start with... Oh wow, I'm outdated.
Oh, there we go, right out of the gate, Munger getting yet another good start. Looks like Morris got second. Kirby is on third as Kirby now makes a run up the inside there on Morris. He's all over the back bumper of that 99 machine. So Kirby pushing Thomas Morris to second position. Fourth place, we are going to have Matt Kingston is currently riding P4 as Kirby now looking to the inside on Morris. He's going to have him going through the dog leg there and into turn one as Morris goes high. So no trouble at the moment as the field kind of fans out a little bit as they've done on all the both restarts rather, and the start. So Munger though looking like he's got the car to beat. Kirby just cruising around second place. Third place is now Thomas Morris Jr. with Kingston fourth, and Mike Husby now looks like he's going to try to make a run on that 31 machine of Kingston as he draws in as they head into turn one. So good stuff here as the field is mostly single file. Back here in the back with Timothy Silliman, the number 38 machine. That the bottom end of that top 10 is really getting racy as we got cars. The number 4 machine of Eric Mickey now going to the inside and making a pass there on car. I did not actually see who that was he got around, but he was able to secure a pass, and he's actually the man on the move because now he's moving to the inside of yet another car. So he's really number 4 car of Eric Mickey now is making some waves as he's charging through the field. I mean, he's slicing and dicing as they head down the back straightaway into turn 3. He's going to look up the inside of the 28 machine here. So Perry Hicks, he gets around Perry Hicks. So again, Eric Mickey moved him up to P7, so he really putting the throttle down there and making a lot of great passes as the bottom part of this top 10 really looking racy and producing the best results at the moment. And now we have news that the number 89 of Jeffrey Mays, Josh, has blown the engine and taken it back to the garage.
Yeah, that's a bad deal for that team. They worked pretty hard to get here, but that happens at tracks like this.
Yeah, I was just about to say, one of the really cool parts about Texas Motor Speedway and these kind of mile-and-a-half tracks is that you get such speed out of these cars. I mean, these cars are so fast around places like Texas, Atlanta, very quick indeed, and it really takes a toll on the engines as you're constantly running that high RPM around this track, never really giving the engine much of a break to catch its breath as it was, as you're just kind of rolling out of the throttle a little bit, getting into the corner, and then right back on it for full throttle. So these engines do take quite a beating here at tracks like Texas and Atlanta.
Yeah, it also doesn't help when you're trying to get some speed. You tuck in behind the car in front of you, and it doesn't get any air. You can overheat that way too. You can blow it like that.
The big thing is tape. I'm running 30% tape, which is not a whole lot. These guys up here are probably running about 40 or 50% tape because I'm not even hot with this. So tape, especially getting tucked up behind somebody's really hard on the engine, that can really hurt it.
Indeed, with 133 laps again, we're only working on lap 24, so you don't want to be pushing the car too hard. You want to try to get clean air in there when you can, and if you're running that high tape configuration, obviously you're going to want to be pulling out of a line, trying to get some cool air into that engine again. But the stress and the wear on these engines around these tracks is just unbelievable for these cars. I mean, in the open wheel world, we're used to running high RPMs all the time, running pretty much full throttle around ovals like, well, we do run nearly full throttle around ovals like this, and the engine sustains and is able to take that beating. And these NASCAR Cup cars and nationwide cars have really come a long way and really can crank out the power and the RPM around a track like this and have such good durability, because I mean we're talking 400, 500 mile races around tracks like this, and I mean the durability of these engines is really something to take hold of from NASCAR. So very impressive stuff.
Not to mention that your cars that are real, running full throttle all the time are real small and light, and they can turn so much better than these things can.
Indeed, yes, we have the wider tires. We are better handling cars. I will give you that.
You can give me that. Yeah, right now, let's say it's awful. It's pushing in the center, pushing off, sliding off. I don't even know.
Oh wow, and here we've got a move for the lead as Mike Kirby in the 66 machine just blows by Christopher Munger for first position. So I don't know exactly what happened there, if Munger was just going to let Kirby go for a while and kind of ride behind, or if he got a little squirrely coming off a 2 as we're now working lap 28. But move Mike Kirby to the point, and Christopher Munger now to second position with Thomas Morris Jr. in third, Kingston running fourth, and Husby running fifth at the moment. So these top 2 guys as well have done a fantastic job. I mean, they've really opened up a large margin back to the 99 machine of Thomas Morris Jr. So scary stuff from these 2 guys as they're showing that they are the car to beat, as the field is now pretty well fanned out.
Yeah, it looked like Munger got had a little shake of the car coming out of the turn there, and it just allowed Kirby to get past him.
Yeah, and that's all it takes, certainly, as we've talked about drivers fighting loose conditions in Lesher Dakota. Looks like you might be pushing a little bit, a little tight in the corners. So a couple different things playing out as people's strategies really start to settle in on this. Well, I think it's cropping up on the second longest run we've had out of the 29 laps, given our 2 cautions at the moment. So good stuff here at Texas Motor Speedway. This is the OCRL Championship, the NASCAR Nationwide Impala Championship here on the iRacing simulation service. So thanks everybody for joining us here on Thursday night for this event. So getting ready for your weekend this Friday, Friday tomorrow, and then your big weekend as well. Real NASCAR guys heading to Dover this weekend for the Chase race. So you know, start your big weekend of racing here at ETV Live as Mike Kirby now works the inside of the number 44 machine, that being Patrick O'Toole, who had his problems, front row Toole, having his issues early on with that spin on the back straightaway. So drivers moving into some of the slower lap cars at the moment, and I do believe we will seize this opportunity to take a commercial break. Keep it here, ETV Live, Texas Motor Speedway, Impala Nationwide cars for the OCRL. We will be right back.
Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages, cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980.
Okay, welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway here Thursday night for the OCRL Championship. The penultimate round of the championship, rather. Working currently lap 37. The number 66 of Mike Kirby in the lead now with about a 1.6 second gap over second place, the number 55 machine of Christopher Munger. Third place, the number 99 of Thomas Morris Jr. Fourth, Mike Husby. And fifth, Matt Kingston. Oh, wait, nope. Looks like we've got some movement on track, so maybe a pass there as Dakota is yelling at me nope. So it looks like, yes, Dakota has moved up to fourth place. So move Dakota Ehrman, ETV Live Zone Dakota to fourth place. Mike Husby is now fifth as cars are spread out single file, so not a whole lot of action while we were away, and it looks like we're going to be working the longest of our green flag periods at the moment. So good racing on track at the moment here. What do you think, Josh?
Oh yeah, everybody's spread out. Everybody's getting their cars warmed up and holding their line, so it's looking good. One thing I was noticing is that now that Mike Kirby is in clean air, he's actually running faster lap times than the second place Christopher Munger.
Arrows play a big role at this place. Getting around traffic is really difficult, especially it's really hard to pass here. It seems like it seemed earlier in practice. We've got this thing kind of worked out now where it's passing people and everybody's able to pass, seems like. But usually at most tracks, when you get a car right up behind you on your bumper, you'll start to get loose. But if you get right up on somebody else's bumper, you get tight. So it's the draft here is really an aero model is really tight on what it's going to do. So having clean air is really important, especially if you're going to make up time.
And that's one of the real interesting things about NASCAR and the direction that NASCAR is going, and really the 10 tops as a whole, is that aero is becoming more and more of a factor. So it's real interesting to see how that aero model plays out on a track like this, especially here in Texas. As we now take a look back here around 5th place, the number 15 of Mike Husby is in 5th place, but he's got quite a few cars actually kind of catching up to him here, as it looks like Kingston now. Well, no, I'm sorry, I've got the wrong car. Just one moment. For some reason
That's 67 of Shannon Sigler. He just took 5th place, and
yes.
Now the 15 of Husby is under attack by Eric Mickey.
Yes, so sorry about that. For some reason, foolishly had my camera trained on Dakota's car. I guess I was waiting for a crash. But Shannon Sigler now move him up a position around Husby. Husby's about to lose that position to Eric Mickey as they work the dog leg. And then the number 31 of Matt Kingston now taking a look to the inside of the 15. So the 15 in a little bit of trouble here. Maybe the tire's falling off and that setup not as good on the long run. As he's losing positions quite rapidly, actually, but definitely the run 6th, 7th, 8th producing the best racing on track at the moment here. So real interesting, especially in the nationwide cars, when you get to places like this and you see just how important the tires are, because man, I mean, they start to go away quick, and once they do, I mean, you just lose all kinds of time, and you'll go from riding the highest of highs like John Dragonetti was earlier, leading the race after choosing to stay out during that first caution period, and then you just fall like a stone, as we currently now show Dragonetti in 16th position overall. So I mean, those tires so critical at a racetrack like Texas. And maybe Dakota can tell us, Dakota, about how many laps are you able to get out of these tires?
Not actually sure. I know we can do a fuel run with them, which is about anywhere you can do a fuel run with them, but they're not going to want to handle at the end of that run. And it's going to be really tricky getting on pit road. It's been green flag conditions. I pull up my fuel. I'm showing about 25 laps left in the fuel tank, so I don't know that we'll be able to go 23 laps or so.
Yeah, so definitely start to look for pit stops, green flag stops, if they happen around lap 57. So, yeah, all the cars, though, seem to be kindly spread out here as the setups start to take hold. You can kind of see that we've got quite a few people on different, completely different setups, as Kirby still leads now by 2.5 seconds over Christopher Munger. Cars now working around around O'Toole at the moment as he gets put another lap down.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like he can keep that car off the wall either. He just hit the car that, or excuse me, hit the wall. Then as Eric, the number 4 car went under him.
Yeah, so definitely just kindly riding around here at the moment is O'Toole after his earlier race issues. So interesting stuff though, and huge shout out to Eric Mickey, who dropped way back there for a while, has worked his way back up to 6th. Also a big shout out to Shannon Sigler as well, who was about mid-pack and has really done well to move up into the 5th position. So the number 67 machine as one of the big movers early on here in the race, as Kirby still leads Munger. But yeah, definitely big time props to Shannon Sigler, also to Eric Mickey, who's really made that car work. And you can kind of see who's geared for these longer runs and who's geared for more of the short runs, perhaps thinking that because of the loose conditions and the slick track that we were going to have a few more cautions than what we've had. Now we've already had 2 in 49 laps, but and both actually really kind of back to back. But good stuff on track at the moment. Just a quick run through the top 10. Mike Kirby leads now by 2.8 seconds, so really opening up the gap now on Christopher Munger, who then leads by a further about 3 seconds over Thomas Morris Jr. Dakota Ehrman is 4th. Our very own in-race reporter and ETV Live guy, and the number 7 machine for JR Motorsports. P5 is number 67, Shannon Sigler. Number 4, Eric Mickey running P6. 7th position is the number 15 of Mike Hugsby. 8th, the number 31 of Matt Kingston. 9th, the number 5 of Jason Gaines. 10th, the number 16 of Todd Smith. So that is your top 10 at the moment, with the only car at the moment who's off the track is out of the race is the number 89 of Jeffrey Mace, who had an engine blow up early on. That engine not able to sustain the RPMs here at Texas Motor Speedway and run those high speeds, so his car has been retired. Outside of that, Patrick O'Toole had a pretty big incident early on that caused our 2nd caution flag. He's currently 8 laps down and having all kinds of problems handling that car as the race goes on. So cars pretty well kind of spanned out here, and we should be seeing green flag stops start to occur in about 6 laps. I would fancy a guess here. So about 6 laps we'll have guys starting to make those green flag stops under with fuel. Was it fuel and tires? Well, maybe more. I think I've actually missed on the math. About how many laps you got there, Dakota?
18 laps left. Okay,
so my fault. So 18 laps. So I'm sorry. I think it was about 67 was what I meant. So again, I am not good at my public math. I will not,
sure you're not drinking?
Pretend to be. Yeah, maybe that's the problem. Maybe I need to be drinking so that I can actually get the math right. So around 67, I'm sorry, is when we should start to see the first of the green flag stops. So that will be in about 14 laps.
I'll tell you what, you guys were talking about Shannon Sigler and Alex Buffoli, or not Alex Buffoli, but Eric Mickey coming back to the field. They have went down pit road the last time. I remember seeing their cars go down, and they've done a great job working through the field, but now they're kind of falling off as I'm able to actually pull away somewhat on my older tires. I think they burned theirs out trying to come to the field. I saw Eric Mickey going back a little bit on my, or my spotter was telling me at least, and then I know I'm beating Shannon out of turn number 2. Shannon is not really handling that great, so that might be something to keep your eyes on.
Yeah, one of the things that always happen when you drop back for pit stops is you have the situation. So we almost have a close call there with Jeff Backey Jr. and right in front of the leader, no less. Yep, as we now have a caution, we've got the number 99 machine has went around and is now buried in the inside wall. So big troubles there for the 99 as we see what happens here. Yeah, coming out of turn number 4, so getting a good run on that car. A little block there. He moved. Oh yes, he moves to the outside to let the 99 go, but unfortunately he hit the wall and came back across and hit the 99, taking the 99 out as well. So that's going to neutralize our ability to have those green flag stops. But a huge shame for the 99 as he was running so well and consistent there in P3, and he is now in the inside wall. He's got it going again now as these cars dive onto pit road, and there's some post accident drama as the 99 then hits the offender there. Hits the offending car in pit road and spins him into the wall on pit road. So some huge post-accident fireworks going off in the pits as C. Thomas Morris Jr. is, for sure not happy with that car, and for good reason, as he was running P3 there. But all the cars now coming into the pits, it would appear, to make their stop. So again, neutralizing our ability to have the green flag pit stop. Terrible luck.
A lot of guys right now are actually thinking, thank God I don't have to come back in and do this under green flag, because that would have been really, really hard. The tires would really want to slide, especially under braking. It's really dangerous. But Jake Finch coming in with the leaders. He is lapped down. He will get the lucky dog when he gets back out to the green.
Yeah, this is leader. He's taking 4 tires and fuel and no adjustments for that car. He loves the way that's handling. And the 55, he's taking 4 tires as well. And the race for pit road, it's the 55. He got it.
Yeah, Munger out of the pits there, about half a car ahead of Mike Kirby, so good work by the number 55 team to get that car out ahead of the 66, so they're all going to want to be trying to get as many positions as they can on pit road, as Kirby has shown that he clearly has the car to beat at the moment, so be interesting to see if what kind of adjustments the 55 made in an attempt to try to pull some more speed.
Yeah, and also coming out first, he gets choice of line, so if he chooses the inside, he can force Kirby up the track, and maybe he can pull away this time, get us to some clean air.
Alright, so yellow flag stops have been completed, as right now it looks like Patrick O'Toole is the first car behind the pace car. He is not the leader. Christopher Munger, the 55, beating the 66 of Mike Kirby off the pit road as we work lap 58. Our very own number 7 and Danica Diva, indeed, Dakota Ehrman, running 3rd place overall. My pick to win, sadly, it looks like it may be working a little bit. I don't know why, but moves Shannon Sigler up to 4th place, Eric Mickey 5th, and I'm not so sure that those two won't have something to say by the time this is all said and done. As Dakota mentioned, they marched through the field and really burned up those tires, but also, they were able to get the caution when they needed it, and now they have fresh tires along with everybody else, Josh, so we could see them make a push to the front before long.
Yeah, they were running pretty good. Matter of fact, both of them were heading towards the front with each other. So we'll see what they have for the leaders when the green flag drops.
Indeed, so good stuff to follow there as those guys continue to try to work their way up to the front. So, but it does look, as we mentioned, Mike Kirby is the car to beat at the moment. Again, the only car that we have out of the race at the moment is the 89 of Jeffrey Mays with that blown engine. Patrick O'Toole 7 laps down. Peter Engelmanis is 7 laps down. Michael Enos 4 laps down. Alex Buffoli 2 laps down, and Thomas Morris Jr. He lost a lap as well with that accident. So tough stuff there for him. He had a great 3rd place car there running. Jeff Backey Jr. is the championship points leader for those watching the number 8 car, currently in P20 after teammate Dakota Ehrman spun him out and put him in the wall, so sure there'll be a talking to there. And it would appear as though also Christopher Munger has chosen the inside line at the front, as you mentioned before, his choice of lane. He has chosen the inside lane, as it seems the inside lane has been working the best so far.
Who wouldn't want me behind him?
Yeah, and they let the 44 car, he went around the pace car, cleared the lap traffic out from in front of the leaders.
Yep, Patrick O'Toole getting the wave around, so move him 7 laps up at the moment. As it appears as though the pace car should be coming in this time as they go 2 by 2. So let's see if Munger can get another great restart as he's done all race long. He bottles up the field as the pace car comes off and gets another good launch. So he kind of bottled up our Dakota there. And now Dakota moving to the inside of Mike Kirby as they head into turn 1. Field is stringing out pretty well, so it looks like everybody's got through the first turn okay, as Dakota now clears Mike Kirby for P2, so move Dakota Ehrman, ETV Live Zone, the number 7 machine for JR Motorsports, into second position.
Yeah, and Kirby's coming. Kirby got for second place.
Yeah, so Kirby then moved Kirby back into second place as he got right up on the rear end of that number 7 machine, as now the number 4 of Eric Mickey, who we've been talking about all night as a quick car, gets around Dakota. So Dakota got a nice little arrow push there up the racetrack as Kirby got right up on that back bumper of that number 7 machine and just kind of shoved him out of the way without ever making contact. As Munger now leads Kirby in hot pursuit, move Eric Mickey, as we said, up to third position. Dakota Ehrman now 4th, and then Shannon Sigler should still be in the 5th position with Kingston 6th. And the caution is out. Alright, we had a spin. We now have reports of a spin in turn 3. So it was one of the cars more towards the back there. Okay, so Alex Buffoli is the reason for the caution here, as he has a spin coming out of turn number 3. So again, as you said, Josh, caution breeding caution, and yet another spin.
Yeah, and it was him and Patrick O'Toole fighting for second place in the points. So it'll be interesting to see how this shakes up.
Indeed, so yeah, interesting stuff. Terrible, terrible night for the people running in the top 4 of the points championship. So early misfortune for our points leader, Jeff Backey Jr., as his driver and teammate collected him early on. And now Patrick O'Toole having all kinds of issues as he's spinning out. Alex Buffoli, he's spinning out. I mean, just all kinds of mass chaos all over this racetrack. And again, you know, one of the things that's real hard to deal with here at Texas Motor Speedway is these cars are so loose. These car setups are so loose here at Texas, and when you get on those fresh tires, they are more than a handful to keep under control. So we've seen a number of cars getting loose, traveling up towards the wall, maybe spinning out. So yeah, it's definitely been one of those nights, and it's you know, a lot of these drivers, when they're done, Josh, they're going to be pretty fatigued trying to keep that car under control.
Oh yeah, you got to work the wheel just to keep the car underneath you, because it will want to get away, especially if you're driving really, really hard into the corners. And it also looks like the 88 of Jake Finch's went into the garage. Looked like he had a blown engine, was smoking pretty bad, so we'll have to see if we can get an update about that later on.
Tell you what, guys, you thought it looked like it was sliding around. My car was not tight there. I was not ready for that, like a lot of guys. I don't blame them for that caution. I was personally up here sliding around so bad that I actually moved up the track and let them go. These things are so slick on new tires that it's insane. You feel like you're driving on ice, and that's not something you want to drive on.
Yeah, that's what I hear from a lot of drivers driving this A car. Oh, it's the scar of the B car. My apologies there. But it's just like driving on ice. It's really hard to control till you get the pressures up and the tires warm and your setup comes in.
Tell you what, guys, so gonna go ahead and throw out plugs for the week as I got them in my head memorized pretty much. Friday night, tomorrow night, the Friday night showdown at, I believe it's Dover, so that's gonna be something interesting. That track has been interesting all week, and I really look forward to that. That's something you don't want to miss. The pit report, I do not believe we'll be hosting tomorrow. Unfortunately, I believe a show may have hit the end, but tune in, I guess. We're doing Saturday night as well. Paint the Yellow All-Star Race. They're All-Star Races, so it's the trucks at Talladega. I believe we have Steven Azeni And I'm trying to remember the rest of the crew. Michael Keaton is who it is, and those two will be in the booth. I think I'll be there as well. A lot of fun, especially with those guys. That's the last time we were there. The celebration was insane. It was funny. And then I believe we're going to head to Monday night Real Sim Racing, and also Wesley Outland's radio show. And the winner is Motorsports. They've had Ryan Blaney on that show. They've had all kinds of big names on there. It's something you want to tune into. Don't want to miss it. But Real Sim Racing Monday night about 9 o'clock Eastern time, 9:30 maybe. Always fun to watch those guys as it is in their chase. So it's coming down to every point now. As I believe, I can't actually remember who won last week, but I believe it was close.
Yeah, the guys at Real Sim Racing, they're fun to watch and fun to call, and they do give you some exciting races.
Josh, do you remember who won?
I believe it was Landon Huffman that won.
That's 2 for 2 in the chase.
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, it was Landon Huffman that won because we were talking about him making it 3 for 3 come Monday.
Uh-oh.
Alright, well, great stuff all around, so make sure you keep it here this weekend and early next week for all of your sim racing rather, here at ETV Live. So we've got just a ton of things going on, a ton of great events, great championships, as we now get ready to take this great championship back to Green Flag Racing, the OCRL here at Texas Motor Speedway, working lap 65, about to be 66 of 133 laps. So cars still on pretty fresh tires. We only had a couple laps before, only ran a couple green flag laps. I don't even think the tire temperatures got up there. But green flag is out, and there goes the 55 of Christopher Munger, again getting a good start. Probably not as good as he's had, as we now have Eric Mickey working the inside of Mike Kirby. So move the number 4 machine of Eric Mickey up to 2nd position, Mike Kirby 3rd, and 4th position is our very own in the number 7 machine, Dakota Ehrman, and 5th, the 67 of Shannon Siegler. So great action as the field goes into the single file lineups we've seen at the start of all the restarts here thus
and
far.
Back in the 12th position in the back, they're all bunched up. The number 1 car got a little squirrely, and he's the guys up behind him.
Yeah, we've got quite a few cars running 2x2, as you mentioned. The number 1 machine of Scott Olison having a little bit of problems and causing that field to kind of bunch up, and cars now moving to the inside. Also Jeff Backey Jr. Looks like Jeff Backey Jr. has got back onto the lead lap, and he's moving through the field again. So good to see that car getting its repairs completed under yellow, and also being on the lead lap as he's looking to the inside of Olison as well. So move Backey up to, P13, I believe.
Let's go, boss man. Let's go, boss man.
So yeah, maybe we'll get lucky, and maybe once Jeff Backey works his way back up to the top 5, maybe he can give Dakota the what for spinning him out early on. Be interesting to see. Or maybe Dakota will make like a good teammate and just let Jeff go.
So I was attempting to do before, just he got really loose on the inside, and then I moved up to avoid him, and then I got really loose on the outside.
So we've got now move Mike Kirby back up into P2 as he got around Eric Mickey. So it really looks as though, Josh, the 55 and the 66 cars are going to be the cars to beat unless something terrible happens. I mean, I don't think the kinds of adjustments that you can make on pit road are going to be enough for the likes of the number 4 of Eric Mickey or the number 67 of Shannon Siegler. I don't know if they're going to have enough speed or if they're just cruising early on, but it really looks like these two cars have, no matter what happens on the restarts or whatnot, they always find themselves running 1-2 once the field kind of settles.
Yeah, and that's a good thing about starting up front. If you're the leader, you can just go when you want. And second place is right there. He can jump with you, and you can get that good lead out, and you're going to make everybody behind you burn their car up trying to catch you. It's just one of those things that happen. And unless you can get, like, Shannon Siegler or Eric Mickey just to run consistent laps, see if they can just slowly catch them instead of trying to drive to them, it's going to be, they're going to have a hard time catching them.
Consistency will not catch them.
Yeah, it looks at the moment though moves Sigler up to P3 as the number 4 of Eric Mickey now getting past. So those two cars working very well. Mike Kirby has moved around Christopher Munger and reassumed his position as the lead and put a couple car links between him and Christopher Munger. So Kirby looking like he's got the dominant car. But don't count out Siegler or Mickey before this thing's all said and done, as we've seen some crazy cautions happening early on this race. So there's a very good chance that something could potentially happen, and we could see one of these cars running up there. Dakota Ehrman, who is talking with us as he races, actually is running P5, and then Kingston P6. So.
Oh, we got a wreck. Number 5 car spinning into the wall.
All right, yeah, so it looks like there's going to be a caution for Jason Gaines as he's went into the wall, working the number 5 car, working around the 54. The 54 down the back straightaway got a little loose. The number 5 went up to the high side to get around him, and then all of a sudden the 54 car just lost control. Case Hinkins, it looks like, just absolutely losing control of that car in turn 3 and getting all into the driver's left side there, the number 5 of Jason Gaines, and spun him around and into the wall. The car backed into the wall and then kind of hit it with the front a little bit and hit it with the back again. So yeah, so accident there for the number 5, as you seen it there on the ETV replay there, the rewind, as the car just got loose after getting hit and backs it into the wall. So tough break there for Jason Gaines, and an interesting move there, as that car, the number 54 car, really snapped loose there. So
yeah, it's bad news for Jason Gaines, but really good news for C. Thomas Morris Jr. He just got the lucky dog, and this should put him back on the lead lap.
Should put him on the lead lap, as all the lead cars have now come in for service again, get those fresh tires, as we seen with John Dragonetti earlier. When he opted not to take tires, cars just got swallowed him up quickly, and he was not a factor for the rest of the time. But the leaders have made their stops and are now getting tires and fuel, and as you said, Josh, and pointed out incorrectly so, Thomas Morris Jr. should get that lucky dog and get put back on the lead lap. And we know that he's had a car capable of running at the front all night, as he was running station there at P3 for the longest time before that unfortunate accident caught him out and put him into the inside wall.
Yeah, we'll see how good that car does with the damage he has, and see if he can get back up front. We'll be watching him as the race goes along.
All right, well, while we are under yellow, we're going to go ahead and jump away for a quick break here at ETV Live for the OCRL at Texas Motor Speedway, the penultimate round for the championship. Don't go away. We will be right back. And welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway for the OCRL, the Online Championship Racing League. Nationwide cars coming at you from Texas Motor Speedway, working lap 77. Believe this to be our 4th caution, as we had a car spin out there, and it was actually the number 5 of Jason Gaines. Got a little help, got a little door check, and got sideways. As we now are 2x2, looking like we're coming to the green flag this time by Mike Kirby, currently leading this race and has had a kind of stranglehold on it. When it's not him, it's been Christopher Munger, who's in the number 55, currently running P2. Shannon Siegler creeping up there, running P3. P4 is Matt Kingston, and P5 Eric Mickey with our very own ETV Live's very own Dakota Ehrman running P6 in the number 7 car. So all the leaders came in on pit stops as Patrick O'Toole was given a penalty for missing the commit cone. He had to start at the end of the longest line, but he's well back anyways, so that doesn't matter much. As the pace car comes off, the car's slowly trickling, and there we go, Mike Kirby with a huge jump on Christopher Munger, and now Shannon Siegler is going to take advantage of that opportunity and move right to the inside and try to take P2 as the cars head down into turn 1. Kirby with about 5 cars between him and second place of Shannon Siegler. So things a little bit more bunched up here as opposed to what we've seen on other restarts. Cars 2x2 back there for about 4th, 5th place on back. We've got some real racy stuff, and then we got the 15 car now sideways through the grass. So make that the 15 car of Mike Husby, getting real loose going through the dog leg and hitting the grass. And I think he was able to keep it under control and is now driving. Yeah, he's back on track, so there shouldn't be a caution flag for that, as we're still moving. So as you can see, as the tires come up to temperature, or work to come up to temperature, the cars are very loose and very much like driving on ice, as we see in the back even more cars now becoming 2x2 as these guys try to get a handle on what these cars are doing. So good racing here at Texas. So Husby's back under control, and all seems to be well with his car, as Kirby now opens up about a half-second lead as we've got more 2x2, as we're looking at the Todd Smith, the number 16 car, as he's starting to lose positions. As we got about 2x2 there. We've got the 28 as well, Perry Hicks, all those cars bunched up back there, really racy and dicing for position there. So interesting stuff to keep an eye on, as you know, we don't want to wish it on anybody, but you know, as these cars still work to come up and get tire pressure in there, you gotta be careful running side by side and getting real racy like that, as you could easily take a step on the wild side there and send the car in the wall, or send another car in the wall. So we are fanned out back here, as it seems everybody's battling for that 10th position.
You don't even got to worry about putting cars on the wall anymore. You got to worry about not wrecking yourself. I just real loose going in the corner, and I had to pull it down on the apron and be real slow on the bottom of the track all the way to the front stretch, and that cost me. I'm all the way back in 20th position now, and the car is still sliding. Not yet.
Yeah, so Dakota now having all kinds of issues with his car, as this set of tires seems to not agree with him, as he's having a hard time hanging on to that thing. So that thing, as JD would say, if he was here, you better hang on, cowboy, because that thing's going to take you for a ride if you're not careful. And if you're really not careful, you might end up on the e-ticket ride, as we would show you on the replay, hitting the wall. But Dakota's already been in one e-ticket ride tonight, as he put it solidly into his team boss and teammate. As we watched there, you watched on the side-by-side there, sponsored by OpenPaddock.net. You saw Dakota really losing control of that car, really struggling for grip and losing all kinds of time and position. Surprised we didn't see a floating back there as we were watching that battle for 10th.
Yeah, and the battle for 10th hasn't really calmed down. Well, it's calmed down a little bit. They've lined up single file, but
No. The cars had been had moved to single file, but they were all over the backside of one another there. So I guess that situation could get explosive real quick and have cars running 2, and if somebody gets real edgy, maybe try to go 3 wide down the back straightaway. But it looks like they're kind of settling in as cars, as they typically do here on these longer kind of runs here at Texas Motor Speedway. As those tires get up temperature, get the grip in them, and that setup comes to life. That's what we begin to deal with. And Mike Kirby now, as the number 66 machine leading this race, already has put up nearly a 1.5 second gap to second place Shannon Siegler, who's got a further over half second to Christopher Munger. So yeah, about 1.7 seconds now is the gap between Mike Kirby and Shannon Siegler. Christopher Munger, who had been running so well up in P2, finds himself in P3, about 2.2 seconds off. Eric Mickey is P4, and Matt Kingston P5 in the number 31 machine. So here's a name, Jeff Backey Jr. Remember, we've been talking about him and kind of ribbing our colleague here, Dakota Ehrman, all night about taking out Team Boss. Well, Jeff Backey not only made up the time that he had lost repairing his car in the pits, but he is now running P7 in the number 8 machine for that JR Motorsports. We do have a caution, though, as the number 16 of Todd Smith has spun into the grass, bringing out another caution flag. So it looks like we're not going to get any green flag racing in here tonight, as we're now working lap 87. Looks like the 16 machine just got loose coming off of 4. Car was spinning across the grass, and hard impact backside first into the inside pit wall. So big spin there for the number 16. That would give the number 44 of Patrick O'Toole another lucky dog pass, as he will now be only 6 laps down, as he's slowly chipping away. So, but again, as you see on the ETV replay there, the 16 Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet getting into the grass, and he thinks he's got it, and now the car's rotating, and it's all she wrote, as she then impacts the backside of that car hard into the inside pit wall. Probably gave that number 1 pit stall a scare there as the crew was standing there. So tough break for the 16 of Todd Smith. That's going to be huge damage for that car. Huge damage to fix, and it'll be interesting to see, but he's going to lose a lot of time and probably a few laps as he then goes for a crazy donut spin there. That was a bit madness. Almost like he had like a 200-pound weight in the back of that thing. Yeah, and then on top of that, he has further disconnected with electrical, or we'll call it CPU issues. So it's all went terribly wrong for Todd Smith the last couple laps here.
Yeah, and as the leaders come into pit, the 31 car overshot his pit stall and had to back up, and that cost him some time. And looks like, again, Mike Kirby beat the field out, but this time just barely. Shannon Siegler almost beat him out.
Yeah, so Siegler really trying to assert and be a part of this race for the lead, and done a great job thus far working up to P2, and now really kind of trying to do whatever is possible to put pressure on the leader, the 66 of Kirby. Alright, so yep, there we go. We've got a penalty for the 31 car. Matt Kingston reports speeding on pit road. So tough break there for that car that's been running so well in the top 5, kind of under the radar really in the top 5 there for most of the night. So tough break there, but one person that we haven't mentioned is the 26 of Matt Lacrosse. Move him up to P6, and Jeff Backey Jr. to P7. So I'll actually move Lacrosse to P5, I'm sorry, and Backey to P6, so they each gain a position through that after the speeding penalty. So interesting stuff there. And again, Josh, we've got cars that have come in for tires, fresh tires here. We're going to have some dodgy circumstances for a lot of these guys after the green flag falls.
Yeah, it's gonna be another exciting restart, especially in the back. Maybe we'll see another battle for a position like we had before, 2 wide, maybe 3 wide. They went 3 wide once or twice, but luckily they were smart enough to back out of it.
Yeah, 2 and 3 right. 2 and 3 wide racing back there for the P10 position. Some hairy stuff, honestly, the whole entire time. So good stuff to watch, though, as the leaders have really kind of just broken away from each other. We may have 1 or 2 cars make a couple passes for 1 position each.
Oh, and that is a rough break for Kingston. He was running really good in 5th, and that puts him all the way back to 17th place. That's where he'll restart at. 19th place, I'm sorry. The field hasn't come across the line. My apologies, I didn't get the updated standing, but he'll start at 19th.
I know, right? I think we're just gonna go ahead and stop trying to predict it. It looks like a lot of changes going on currently back there for that position at the end of the lead lap. Cars.
Third, and as the field lines up 2 by 2, this will be 1 lap to green. Lights off on the pace car.
And you know what, guys? Why don't we do something pretty awesome? Let's do a crank it up on this restart. I think our cameraman John Wessling, I think we mentioned him all race, but he's awesome at the camera work and awesome at everything he does. I really appreciate him coming out tonight and doing this, and everybody at ETV especially for stepping out and doing this for us tonight. But let's see if we can't get him to work his magic fingers, because he is Magic Fingers John Wessling. And let's see if we can't get a crank it up.
Yeah, so if you got those speakers, you got those headphones or the surround sound plugged in, go ahead and turn it up loud, as we'll have the restart here in just about half a lap, as the cars are now working down the back straightaway. I'm sorry, coming off turn 4. So I will stop talking now. The first lap there after the restart. Beautiful camera work there from John Wessling. My apologies for not mentioning him before this point. I'm sorry, John, don't fire me. But great stuff right now. Mike Kirby jumping out to the lead as expected. Siegler running second. Mickey is in third. So those two have been kind of nose to tail the whole entire race. Chris Munger dropping to P4. So he's slowly working his way back through the field, going the wrong direction there. Matt Lacrosse 5th, Jeff Backey Jr. is 6th in that number 8 machine. 7th is Wendell James, a name we haven't mentioned all night. And in the 28 car, in P8, Perry Hicks, and the number 1 machine of Scott Olison holding down P9 with Chris Thomas Dukes in P10 with the number 12 machine.
Yeah, and behind him, they're still trying to fan out, get in line, and settle positions up. A little dicey at some points. Still sliding around there.
Yeah, want to be very careful as these tires try to work up the temperature. You know, cars are going to be sliding all over the place, so we've seen how hard it is to keep grip, going onto the back straightaway, or coming off of turn 4 into that dog leg. Jason Gaines, who was the car who brought out caution 2 cautions ago, looks like his problem is not as bad as what we have originally thought. That number 5 machine now making a move on the number 12, it would appear, yep, to get into the top 10 for the first time. So that accident did not hurt him as badly as what we had first thought. Our own Dakota Yearman in the number 7 moved him up to P12 as well. So he's working his way back to the front after his huge moment where he was able to keep the car under control. So looks like we've calmed down a little back here in this fight for P10, as cars all now getting around the number 12 of Chris Thomas Dukes, as his car is obviously having some kind of a handling issue. And now John Dragonetti, a guy we haven't talked about in a long time, sizing up one Mr. Dukes for that 14th position. So great racing back here in mid-pack towards the rear of the field. We have 4 cars off the track. We have Jeffrey Mays out with a blown engine. Peter Engelmanis as well was out. Michael Enos is out, and Alex Buffoli and Jake Finch is quite a few laps down as well, which would lead me to believe that perhaps he is off as well.
So this is good news. Patrick O'Toole, he's still in the race, and Alex Buffoli is not, and they're in the battle for second place in the points with, I believe, 1 race to go after this one.
Yes, this is the penultimate round of the OCRL Championship here at Texas Motor Speedway. Good point that you mentioned there. O'Toole has been able to keep his car on track in that number 44 machine. He is only, well, he is quite a bit 6 laps down, but he is doing well to hang on and just turn laps and keep the car out of trouble, stay out of the leaders' way, and pass as many cars really as he can to try and buffer that points. Now that second place points lead, rather, as we had a car in the wall there for a second, as I caught it on the broadcast and did not catch it in the race. So a car was in the wall there. Looks like they're still going. But yeah, as we were mentioning, good for Patrick to continue to just turn circuits and keep the car out of trouble and try to pad that second place points position as they head into the final round next week.
Yeah, he came in with only looks like a 2-point lead over Alex Buffoli. So be interesting to see how many he gets going into the last race.
Definitely every little point counts. As we move back to the front, we've got a real battle now for second position, as Mike Kirby has put about 2 seconds between himself and Shannon Siegler. Siegler now coming under all kinds of fire from Eric Mickey, as well as Christopher Munger is now challenging Eric Mickey as well. So the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place battle really heating up here at the front, as Eric Mickey now going to take a look to the inside of Siegler, but not going to have anything for that 67 machine as they come on to the back straightaway. Munger with a great run off of turn 2. He's going to tuck it in behind the 4 car of Eric Mickey, so not a good enough run, but these cars all now nose to tail. Kirby loving this as he looks to extend his lead, as he is clearly the car to beat tonight. He is now 2.3 seconds clear of the 67 machine, but now the 67 moving up to the middle groove there. Mickey is going to follow. Christopher Munger took the more inside approach to that corner, wasn't able to get a good run down the back straightaway, and they will head into turn 3 the same way that they came out. So good battle up here in the top 3. As I started to say, we haven't had much action up here in the top. I mean, we've had a couple cars pass for a position here, position there, but this is the first kind of sustained battle that we've seen in the top 5, with Siegler running P2, 2.5 seconds off of Kirby. Mickey is now 4th still, with Munger all over the back end of that number 4 machine, looking for a way to get by, looking for a run off the corner, as he is getting into turns 3 and 4 very well, but the 4 machine is able to come off the corners, especially turn 4 there, able to come off the corner a little bit better, I think, than the 55, and that's causing some problems. And you know, Josh, Mike Kirby's got to be loving this, because not only does he have the car to beat, and he continues to increase his gap every lap, but these guys racing hard back here are just burning up these tires.
Yeah, it's going to cost in the long run, but they're trying to keep their positions too. Yeah, he's so far out ahead, they're just trying to see how far up they can get, and maybe get in a good position if another caution comes out, that they can somehow sneak it by him.
Indeed.
And Munger goes under Eric Mickey. Let's see if he can complete the pass. Coming out of turn 2, he completes the pass. He is now in 3rd spot.
Yeah, so move Christopher Munger up into P3. Eric Mickey back a position, as they all are chasing Mike Kirby, but more importantly, the 55 now trying to chase down that 67 machine of Shannon Siegler, as he gets a good run looks like no problems for Munger in his car like we originally had thought. It doesn't look like he's going to have much for Mike Kirby, however, but he is working his way around Texas Motor Speedway, getting around Eric Mickey. Eric Mickey's car falling way back off of the 55 machine after that pass was completed, so you got to think maybe there either was a moment there for Eric Mickey in that 4 machine, or the tires already starting to become an issue with whatever adjustments he's made tonight. As Munger now looking again on the inside, taking a look at the 67 machine. A good run for Munger down the front straightaway as they head into turn number 1, and Munger gets a good run up onto the back bumper but loses the momentum mid-corner, so he will not have anything for Siegler as they head down now into turn number 3.
Yeah, it only takes one little bobble and you're going to let somebody that's running that good behind you pass you. But
but Siegler now still holding on to P2 as Munger holds position and station at P3. Also the while, Kirby puts up another 2/10 on Siegler. So Kirby just running away and just clearly dominating this event. He has got a super strong car at the moment as he just leaves everybody in the dust. So leaves it all for second place, much like the championship with Jeff Backey. You know, it looks like everybody for this race is going to be settling for second place behind Mike Kirby. Like we said earlier, all it takes is one big bobble out of that 66 machine, but man, it's looking bulletproof as it looks like Christopher Munger is going to get a little bit of a run down the back straightaway on Siegler, but nothing's going to materialize from that as he's going to try to draw up again and get around that 67 machine.
I'll tell you what, Jeff Becky Jr. is in 5th, and speaking of him being the points leader, remember I did turn him earlier by accident, totally by accident. I apologize, my fault. I feel really bad about that. But that's what champions are made of. He came back from being spun and in pit road for quite a while to 5th position.
Indeed, really speaks to the volume of a driver that Jeff Baggy Jr. is in this car. He was turned early on, but like you had noted too, Josh, it was early in the race, so there was plenty of time to make those pit stops and get that car fixed and back on track. And he's doing a hell of a job currently running in P5 in that number 8 machine. So great run for Jeff Baggy Jr. up to this point.
oh yeah, and there's a reason that he's the points leader. He can drive the wheels off the car, especially after what happened and him coming back in 5th. He might be the one that's going to be challenging for second by the end of the race, maybe even first if something happens.
Very, very well could be. You know, we're working currently lap 113 out of 133 though, so time is starting to run out. For those of you who are missing currently Thursday night football, just a quick update: the Baltimore Ravens are leading the Cleveland Browns 23-10. So if you are tuned in here at ETV Live and listening to us via the HD radio network for all of your sim broadcasting coverage, we are actually on Thursday Night Football, so there's just a quick update for you. Not much of a surprise, to be honest.
Sean's got all the information, everything sports.
I got all the information, man. That's the name of the game. That's how old Dad runs it here. So I got anything you need. I got Formula 1 updates. I've got football. I've got it all, man. So
Who's the best NASCAR driver in NASCAR currently?
who's the best driver in NASCAR currently?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, it would be much to be said that Jimmy Johnson has the momentum, especially going into Dover with him leading the championship. But Denny Hamlin is actually running really well in the chase, so and he's good at Dover too. So I would have to say that both of them currently are the best drivers in NASCAR.
You are wrong with both of them.
I am not wrong.
Of course, it's Dale Earnhardt Jr. You know.
Oh, get out of here! I'm not. This is not a popularity contest. I know that he's a good driver. He performed well all year, but you know, in the chase, he along with his Hendricks Motorsport teammate there, Jeff Gordon, have kind of left a little bit to be desired. But we'll see what happens. You know. Again, I think that teams like Denny Hamlin and Jimmy Johnson, and it was one of the things I was kind of musing over today as Christopher Munger looks to the inside of Shannon Siegler, not going to happen again as they head out of turn 2 and onto the back straightaway. But I was thinking earlier, you know, I said, you know, Jimmy Johnson and Denny Hamlin, I think those teams just run and try to run as consistent as possible to get into the chase. But I think that they really make their bread and butter in the chase, and I think that's where a lot of teams are starting to go. You know, we just need to get into the top 10 or into one of those 2 wild card positions and really crank it up for the you know, wins. Maybe not as important during the regular season as they are when it comes time to run in the chase. And I think those 2 guys are probably the best chase drivers. Well, Johnson for sure the best chase driver, but Hamlin has been running strong in the chase for the last couple years as well. So I like Tony Stewart, and you know, obviously being an open wheel guy and having an open wheel driver get out there into the championship. Okay, so I guess this is my last race broadcast, according to John. According to John, who was whispering to me while I was broadcasting, Tony Stewart had to be the best driver or I was going to be fired. I respectfully disagree with my superior, and will say that I think I still will hold true that the 48 and the 11 are the best at this time of year. So getting back here to the OCRL, the Online Championship Racing League, we are working lap 120. Mike Kirby checked out and has put about a 5-second gap to Shannon Siegler, who is running P2, but has got Christopher Munger all over the backside of that car, doing everything that Christopher can do to get around that 67, but that 67 holding strong. As we run through the rest of the top 10, the number 4, Eric Mickey, still sitting in P4 after sliding way back, but he's falling into the clutches of the number 8 machine of Jeff Backey Jr., who's had a fantastic run after getting turned early on. Dakota Ehrman is running P6 right behind Team Boss. We'll have to keep an eye on that. The last time these two were nose to tail, Dakota decided that he was going to go ahead and take out Mr. Backey, his boss. The number 5, Jason Gaines, running in P7. Great run. Yeah, great run for that number 5 car, as he was also put back first into the outside wall early on. He's done great to recover that position. P8, Scott Olison in the number 1 machine. And in 9th position, the number 31 of Matt Kingston, and rounding out the top 10, the number 15 of Mike Husby, which is good recovery for him after we remember earlier he turned his car into a World Rally Championship contender, went off into the grass and dirt trying to turn some lap times down there. And while being a rally fan at heart, I do appreciate it. I don't think that's the purpose of these cars. Watching this battle though, guys, for a second.
Yeah, one thing about the number 9th car, 31 Matt Kingston, he did get it into the longest line penalty for speeding on pit road. He's already back into the top 10. That's some good driving by him as well.
Yeah, good running from Matt Kingston. We had said that he had been running pretty comfortably in the top 5 most of the night, or just outside the top 5, and he is now doing great to work his way back into the top 10 after his end of the line speeding penalty. But guys, I'm watching this battle for a second because it's really one of the closest ones we have between the 67 and 55 here, and the 55 definitely looks to be the faster car. But anytime he gets close to the 67 machine, he's having his car gets really loose, and it's really kind of killing his run off the corner and down the straightaways. So that's definitely causing some issues there for Shannon Siegler, or I'm sorry, for Christopher Munger and his attempts to get around Shannon Siegler. So definitely, you know, gonna have to time that pass just right, or maybe even give a little bit of a bump and run there when we get down into the corner and try to get around that 67, because the 67's just not having any of it at the moment, as they all continue to chase Mike Kirby, the 66 machine, who has just dominated this event, plain and simple, no better way to put it, as we now are working lap 126 out of 133, so this thing is about to wind up here. We're going to start to see some of these cars that are running closer together really start to kind of make some racy moves.
Oh yeah, there'll probably be a few people that make that little move somebody out of their way. So it might finish on a green, it might not. With only 8 to go, we'll find out.
Yeah, currently a good battle at the moment back here and around P12, where it's been pretty heated all night. 26 machine of Matt Lacrosse, who had a venture up around the top 5 early on. He's sliding back to C. Thomas Morris Jr., who had had a pretty hefty impact himself after running P3 most of the night. That 99.
Side by side for fourth place.
Yep,
Eric
there he
Mickey.
goes. Oh, nope, Eric Mickey. Okay, so the 4
Jeff
car.
Backey Jr.
I guess he's
Side by
joining the
side
party.
car. And yeah, right behind him, ETV's own Dakota Airman is trying to get into the battle too.
No, yeah, here goes Dakota though. He's gonna have a look up the inside of the 4 of Eric Mickey as Backey's already worked his way around him. Dakota's got obviously the faster car. He kind of touched the apron there, got a little loose, but he's got the superior car as the 4 machine is really starting to fall off here on this long run.
Shannon Siegler.
Siegler, the 2nd place car. Oh my, having a great run. And that has all but come to an end there.
Yeah, it looks like him and Munger bumped a little bit, and Siegler went up and tapped that traffic and went spinning through the infield and back up on the track. So that is a tough break for him, but luckily he kept it out of the traffic, and he's at least able to finish.
Yeah, Siegler got a little high there and then went to miss that lap traffic. Kind of came down on Munger a little bit, bounced off Munger, and then bounced off the lap traffic and spun it. Luckily, pretty good save. Lost a lot of positions, and that's tough break given the fact that we're probably not going to go green flag racing again. But yeah, that 67 did good to keep it at least off the wall. But all kinds of positions lost as Siegler just falls down the leaderboard. Tough break after such a great run all night long, running all the way up into P2, holding P2, and then having a situation like that happen as you watched on the ETV live replay, the e-ticket ride as it was, because there wasn't much contact, but it was a hell of a ride through the infield there, spinning and doing a good job hanging on to it, and then lost a lot of speed obviously through the spin and got passed by just about everybody. So that should give the race. I'm not sure if we're going to have a green-white checkered. Yeah, so it should be over at this point. And the way it will shake out after that is it will be Mike Kirby taking a well-deserved win. The margin of victory really not going to do him justice, as he had about a 5-second lead on everybody else. Christopher Munger in the 55 is going to finish in the 2nd position. A fantastic run by Jeff Backey Jr. after early contact and a spin and impact. He's going to slot in P3. P4, Eric Mickey, who drove a great race all night rather. And then in P5, our very own number 7, Dakota Ehrman, is going to take home a top 5 finish for his troubles. And that's a great run for Dakota as well, after having that huge moment where he just about lost the car and put it in the wall, but he was able to collect it, keep it on the apron, and get back into the mix of things. And he's done a phenomenal job to drive up into P5 at this point. Our tough breaks of the night certainly go to Patrick O'Toole, who had a spin. Also, C. Thomas Morris Jr., tough break for him as he's going to end up P12 after a fantastic run in P3 for a lot of the night. Then contact with lap traffic put him well out of contention there for a while. And then again, Shannon Siegler running P10 for the finish, but I mean, I'm sorry, I'll take that back. 7th is what we see him slotted in at the moment. So P7 for Shannon Siegler, but still not the run that Siegler would have wanted after running P2 for pretty much the whole second half of the race. So those are the tough breaks for the night. I don't know, Josh, though. I tell you what, I thoroughly enjoyed watching the OCRL, the Online Championship Racing League, in these Impala cars around Texas Motor Speedway. It's been a phenomenal night of action with some great racing all throughout the field.
Yes, it has, and you can tell the quality of drivers have been close racing. There has not been a lot of wrecks, and there wasn't a really big wreck. It was just 1 or 2 cars that got involved. And so you got to hand it to these drivers for racing a good race. And we'll see how the points shake out after this when they head into their final race I believe it's the next week.
Yes, it's Homestead next week, next Thursday night. Also, the Cup Series has the Homestead next Sunday night for their final race. The Truck Series will also be a Homestead for their final race of the season, and that's like a two-point difference for the points lead, I do believe. So it's really close over there. I'd check in. I mean, I would go look and see who wins because it's looking exciting with JRM and I believe it's Pinnacle racing back and forth for this win.
Well, there you have it. Check out on that. And Patrick O'Toole, who's sitting in second place, he ran as much as he could this race, trying to get as many points as he could to pad his lead. His engine blew, so he had to step out, doesn't get to finish. But he ran at least a good race for points for him.
Yeah, did what he needed to do to get a couple points on Alex Buffoli there, finishing 19th. Buffoli will finish down in 23rd, some 72 laps off the pace. But we now have the white flag as we follow the Ford Mustang pace car around for the last lap, as we just wait for the procession that is Mike Kirby to come around with the field as they now head onto the back straightaway.
Yeah, it's been his race all night, and he's had the car to beat, and he showed it tonight. Munger had a little bit for him, but there at the end, he just didn't have anything. He got stuck back there with the second and third place fighting for that, and he just couldn't catch back up.
Yeah, the number 66 looks like Dollar General there on the hood of that car. So good job, great job actually for Mike Kirby, who absolutely had the field throttled all night as they now come off of turn number 4 for the anticlimactic finish, as Kirby will take the win. As we said, Munger second, Backey Jr. third, Mickey 4th, Ehrman 5th, Gaines 6th, Siegler 7th, Kingston 8th, Olison 9th, and Mike Husby will round out the top 10. So great racing tonight from the OCRL Online Championship Racing League from Texas Motor Speedway in the Impala B car. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and step away from to a commercial break, but keep it here live at ETV Live, as we will have a top 3 interview when we come back with Kirby, Munger, and Backey as well. And welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway for the Online Championship Racing League for the Impala B cars. We are here live with our post-race interview. We've got second place finisher Christopher Munger and third place Jeff Backey Jr. Tried to get the winner in here, but apparently there was beer and champagne to be consumed, so could not could not pass that up for an interview. But we'll go ahead and kick it over to Chris Munger. Chris, congratulations on your second place finish. You ran there pretty much all night and appeared to be the only car that could give a run to Mr. Kirby. Explain to us how your race went.
Yeah, it was a good night, all in all. First of all, I'd like to thank Pinnacle Racing and Thomas and Kingston and Cece and Jeff and Robbie and all those guys, because they gave me a good piece to run with tonight. And I don't think we had too much for Kirby. We did on the short run a little bit, but other than that, it was a pretty solid night. Ran in top 5 all night and finished it up.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your runner-up position. Now, we've seen there towards kind of the three-quarters mark of the race, you kind of just start to slide back to 4th and 5th position, and then when you got up on the backside of Shannon Siegler, it looked like you were kind of getting loose, not able to make the run, and then eventually there was some contact there between you and Siegler that brought out the last caution flag that took us to the checkered flag. Explain to us exactly what was going on with that.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun racing with Siegler. It usually is. He was holding me up the 30 laps there, and I tried to race him clean, and then I saw that lap car on the high side, and I tried to use him somewhat as a pick and got underneath him, and I think he thought he was clear and came down on me a little bit. But it was fun racing, man. A big shout out to the Pinnacle guys. They give us good setups every week, and congrats to Kirby. He's a hell of a guy.
All right, well, I like to congratulate you on your second place finish. Well done, great race. I'm going to turn it over to Josh, who has Jeff Backey Jr., and this should be an interesting interview, as I do believe that Dakota is still somewhere floating around the press room. So, Josh, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, I'm here with Jeff Backey Jr., finished 3rd during this race. And, Jeff, you ran an awesome race today. You, as he said, had a teammate wreck you early on in the race and finished all the way to 3rd. Explain your race to us.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. It was a handful in the car. Everybody on the number 8 Mountain Dew Chevy team did a pretty good job getting the rear end beat back out where it needed to be, and probably used a lot more bare bond than we wanted to use this weekend. But it's I tell everybody after the race and the trailer and everything, even before the race, being that we fielded 4 cars, there's a good chance that we're going to run into each other at some point in the race, and I'm glad that the issue with me and Dakota happened early. We had a lot of time to get it right, and I want to thank everybody on the team, everybody from Dakota, Eric, Jason, Jake, Steve, everybody who makes this team go around. We had pretty good cars tonight. We were definitely lacking something, but we'll work on that and try to get better as the season winds out next week in Homestead. But pretty proud to come back to a top 5 finish after the night we had. My goal was probably top 15 after the wreck, but they fixed us up pretty good.
Yeah, the crew did an awesome job getting you back on the track for the 3rd place finish. And Homestead, that's going to be your victory lap, isn't it? You were first in the points with a very sizable lead.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting over to Homestead. Definitely trying to do a lot of testing over there. We've been a little off in the past at that track, and being that it's kind of a done deal as far as the points goes, it'll be pretty cool to unload with something a little bit more exotic than we probably would if we were going to try to run for the championship. So that gives us the opportunity to maybe try something for next season, and we'll have a little bit of fun down there as well.
Well, there you have it from Jeff Backey Jr. He is the current points leader and the 3rd place finisher here at Texas. And Sean, I'll give it to you. Take it away.
All right, well, we'd like to thank everybody who is watching us live on the ETV homepage, your home for sim broadcasting. Also, special thanks to all those listening on the ETV Live via the HD radio network for all your turn-by-turn radio needs for your broadcasting. If you couldn't be away, or if you couldn't be at the track, sorry about that. So special thanks again go out to you, Josh. Thank you for helping me call the race. Special thanks to Dakota Ehrman as well for being our in-race reporter, who did a lot more reporting than what he probably should have. But special thanks and great job to him tonight. And then special thanks to John Magic Fingers Westling, working those beautiful camera shots all night, especially during that Crank It Up segment. And we like to take this time to wish our good friend and colleague JD Webb the best of luck tomorrow. We are going to miss you, buddy, and hope that everything works out the way it should. But that's all we have tonight from Texas Motor Speedway. Again, Mike Kirby is going to be your race winner. Jeff Backey Jr. went ahead and wrapped up the championship as they head into into Homestead next week for the final round. We'd like to say thanks again for everybody listening, and until next time, we will see you soon. Be safe.
Thank you.